We are going to look at learning targets from Activity 16. So the first learning target is to write linear inequalities in two variables. So we are looking at a story problem. An orange juice costs $2 per bottle, and milk costs $3 per gallon. Allison can spend at most $18 on these drinks. X stands for the number of bottles of orange juice. Y represents the number of gallons of milk. So we are going to write this in standard form. AX plus BUI, and then here we need to figure out what our inequality symbol is, and then C. So first we're going to start with 2 for orange juice, and then X stands for the amount, plus milk is $3, and Y stands for the number of gallons of milk. And then Allison has $18, so that's our C. And we are going to spend at most. So this right here is what we're buying. So that can be less than 18, and it also can be or equal to 18. So less than or equal to 18. So before we graph this, let's go ahead and label our axes. So on our x-axis, X stands for orange juice. Y stands for milk. And in order to graph, we need to convert this to slope-intercept form, or we could find our x and y intercepts, whatever is easiest for you. So I'm going to convert this to slope-intercept form. So that means I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides, so that 3y is by itself. Negative 2x comes first, plus 18. Then I want this y alone, and there's a 3 in front of it. That means they're being multiplied, so the opposite is to divide everything by 3. These cancel. Negative 2 divided by 3 does not reduce, so I'm going to leave it. 18 divided by 3 is 6. And now this is in slope-intercept form. So if you remember from our notes, we're going to plot the y-intercept first on your y-axis. So go up to 6. Then you're going to use the slope to plot more points, and it's a negative, so that means my line is going to be decreasing. My rise is 2, so go down 2. My run is 3. Down 2 over 3. Down 2 over 3. And if I look at my sign here, I'm going to draw a solid line using my ruler to connect these points. Solid because I'm or equal to. And then, in order to figure out where to shade, we are going to plug in the easiest test point, which is 0, 0. So that means x and y are both going to be replaced by 0. And I can plug in 0, 0 here for x and y, or up here to the original. Whatever you prefer, you're going to get the same answer. So 0, 0 plus 6. These cancel. Remember, your Pac-Man mouth or your alligator mouth wants to be eating the bigger number. And it is. It's eating 6, and 0 is less than or equal to 6. This is a true statement. So that means 0, 0 is a solution or an answer. So I'm going to shade towards my 0, 0. It's included. And make sure I can still see that your line is solid, especially when I go to grade your papers. All right, moving on to the next part. Read and interpret the graph of the solutions of a linear inequality in 2 variables. So I'm just going to make up this scenario here. I'm going to label this as donuts. I'm going to label this as coffee. And I'm just going to ask you, is 2 donuts and 4 cups of coffee a solution? I want you to write yes or no. Can we buy 7 donuts and 4 cups of coffee? Yes or no? So if I go over to 2, up to 4, is it a solution? Yes, because it's in my shaded area. 7 donuts, 4 cups of coffee. Nope, it's outside my shaded area. So that one doesn't work. Okay? Looking at this next graph here, let's write the inequality together that matches this graph. And this is a multiple choice question on your quiz. So when we write the inequality, we are going to write this in slope-intercept form because that's the easiest way from a graph. I can find my slope, I can find my y-intercept. So what is your slope or your m? Find it. And what is your y-intercept? So those are the 2 things that I want you to do first. So my slope, I'm rising 1 and I'm running 4, so it's a positive 1/4. It's a positive because this line is increasing or going up. My y-intercept is where your line crosses this y-axis here, and it's right here at -4. So it's going to be y and then my symbol, 1/4 x minus 4. And we need to figure out what that symbol is. Okay, is this line solid or dotted? It's dotted. So because this is dotted, I know that I can only have 2 symbols, less than or greater than. And then, are we shading towards 0, 0 or away from 0, 0? We're shading towards 0, 0. So that means that 0, 0 is a solution. It's an answer, so we get a true statement. So if I put in a 0 for y, and then my unknown symbol, and a 0 for x, minus 4, I want this to be a true statement. So 0 is less than -4, or 0 is greater than -4. Which one's true? 0 is greater. So this right here is how we are going to write this. y is greater than 1/4 x minus 4. And use the process of elimination for multiple choice on your quiz when we get there. All right, let's do y is greater than or equal to 2. So pretend that this is like y equals 2. This is a y-intercept at 2. So here's my y-axis. So go to 2. And I don't have an x here. Okay, I don't have an x, so I don't have a slope. I want to go through my y-axis and never touch my x. So this is a horizontal line. Looking at your sign, is this solid or dashed? It's solid. And then think, I need all y values greater than or equal to 2. So if I look at this as a number line, are these y values greater than 2? Or are these y values greater than 2? Or you can plug in a 0 again, and 0 is right here. Is 0 greater than or equal to 2? False. So that means 10 is greater, 8 is greater, 3 is greater. So we need to shade all of these y values up here, greater than or equal to 2. All right, negative 4x plus 2y is less than or equal to negative 6. So we want to convert this to slope-intercept form, which means I want to get 2y alone first. So I want to move this negative 4x. Y still is not alone yet. So I want to go ahead and divide everything by 2. These cancel. Ooh, and I can simplify. 4 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2. So here's what we're going to graph. But before I graph, I'm just going to plug in my test point right away to determine where to shade. So I'm going to put in a 0 right here for y, then my inequality symbol, 2 times 0 goes in for x plus 3. 2 times 0 is just 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. Okay, remember your alligator mouth, your Pac-Man mouth wants to eat the bigger. Oh, I made a mistake. Sorry. Good thing I caught it now. I started out with a negative 6. Good thing I caught it before I graphed too. And somehow I changed it to a positive. So make this a negative 3. My fault. Good thing I caught it and fixed it. So, minus 3. Sorry. Is 0 less than or equal to a negative 3? Is 0 smaller than a negative number? No, this is a false statement. 0 is bigger than any negative number. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and graph our y-intercept first, down at a negative 3. Then we're going to use our slope to plot more points, and this is a positive slope, so my line needs to be going up or increasing like this. Okay, it's going to be rising. So I'm going to go up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. But I want my line to cover the whole graph because that's going to help me shade. So now I'm going to go back to my y-intercept of -3, and I'm going to go down to left 1. And because of this or equal to line underneath, we're going to draw a solid line. And 0, 0 was not a solution, not an answer in our shaded area, so I need to shade the opposite way or away from 0, 0 because it's false. So I'm shading this way. If it was true, then we would shade towards the 0, 0 to include it. Last question. I'm just going to make this one up again. Let's label this phone calls. And label this text. And this says interpret the graph of the solutions. So can Josiah make 4 calls and send 8 text messages? And then what about 9 phone calls and 16 text messages? So you can think about these as ordered pairs, 4, 8, 9, 16. So this works because it's in our shaded area. This does not work because it's outside our solution region or shaded area.